Let me tell you something about satisfaction. Something you have chased every single day of your life, but something you may have never understood clearly. Nothing ever satisfies you. Not really. Not permanently. You achieved what you wanted. Got the job. Got the relationship. Got the money. Got the recognition. And for a moment, maybe a few days, maybe a few weeks, you felt something. But then it faded, and you were back where you started, empty, looking for the next thing. This is not personal. This is not your failure. This is the nature of desire when it is wrongly directed. And today, I want to show you why. Why the things you achieve never fill you. Why success feels hollow. Why every satisfaction turns into dissatisfaction. And what you are really searching for beneath all the wanting, beneath all the chasing, beneath all the accumulating. You know this pattern already. You wanted something desperately. A car, a house, a promotion, a partner, and you worked for it, saved for it, sacrificed for it. The wanting consumed you. You thought about it constantly, imagined how different life would be once you had it. And then one day, you got it. The moment arrived. You held it in your hands. You stood inside it. You saw your name on the door. And there was relief. There was excitement. There was a brief surge of joy. But how long did it last? A week? A month? And then what happened? The excitement dulled. The newness wore off. And slowly, quietly, you started looking for the next thing. The car that seemed so perfect now has scratches. The house that felt like a dream now needs repairs. The promotion that promised fulfillment now brings more stress. The partner who seemed like everything now reveals flaws. This is not because you chose wrongly. This is not because you need to upgrade to something better. This is because the problem was never the object. The problem is how desire works when it is attached to objects. Watch your own life. Be honest. How many times have you thought, if I just had this, I would be happy? And how many times, after getting it, have you found yourself thinking the same thing about something else? The pattern repeats endlessly. You chase money, thinking it will bring freedom, and it does for a moment. You can buy things, you can travel, you can stop worrying about bills. But soon, new worries arrive. Bigger house means bigger problems. More money means more to protect. You thought ownership would bring freedom. Instead, you discover that things own you. Or you chase power. You want influence. You want to matter. And maybe you get it. You climb the ladder. People know your name. But does it satisfy? You cannot trust anyone. Everyone wants something. You have power, but you have lost intimacy. Or you chase recognition. You want to be seen, to be admired. You work hard. You achieve things. People praise you. And for a brief moment, it feels good. But then you realize recognition is fragile. Today they praise you, tomorrow they forget you. And even while praising you, they do not know you. They know your achievements, not you. Look at those who have everything the world says should make you happy. The successful businessman tense, unable to sleep. The famous actor searching. The powerful politician distrustful. The wealthy heiress empty, filling time with distractions. This is not accident. This is the inevitable result of seeking the infinite through the finite. But why? Why does nothing satisfy? Because what you are really wanting is not money, not power, not recognition. What you are really wanting beneath all these surface desires is expansion. You want to be more. You want to feel bigger. You want to transcend your limitations. You want to touch the infinite. This longing is beautiful. This longing is divine. This longing is your very nature. You are not meant to remain small. You are not meant to be confined. You are not meant to live in a narrow, limited, defined existence. Your very being is a longing for the unlimited, for the unbounded, for the vast. Watch people, watch their desires, and you will see beneath the surface the same thing. The man who wants more money is not really wanting money. He is wanting the freedom that money seems to promise. Freedom from worry. Freedom to choose. Freedom to expand his territory, his possibilities, his life. The woman who wants more beauty is not really wanting beauty. She is wanting to be seen, to be recognized, to matter, to feel that her existence is significant, not small. The person who wants more knowledge is not really wanting information. He is wanting to feel larger, more capable, less ignorant, less limited. In every desire, if you look carefully, you will find the same root, a longing to expand, to break free of boundaries, to be more than what you are right now. And this longing is not wrong. Let me say it clearly. Desire itself is not the problem. Desire is energy. Desire is life. Desire is the very pulse of existence. Without desire, there would be no flowers, no birds, no sunrises, no laughter, no love, no creativity. The scriptures are right when they say God created the world because a great desire arose in him, a desire to expand, a desire to become many from one, a desire to play, to express, to manifest. Desire is divine, but there is a difference between pure desire and desire attached to objects, between the longing for unlimited expansion and the belief that objects will provide it. This is where the confusion happens. This is where the suffering begins. You take this beautiful, vast longing and direct it toward small, limited, temporary objects. You try to satisfy the eternal through the momentary, and it cannot work. It has never worked. It will never work. It is like trying to fill the ocean with a bucket. The ocean remains empty and you remain exhausted. So why do objects always fail to satisfy? Because objects, by their very nature, are limited. They have boundaries. They have definitions. They have beginnings and endings. The mind cannot grasp the truly unlimited. The mind can only grasp objects. And every object, no matter how big, is small compared to what you are really longing for. That is why money fails to satisfy. Not because money is bad. Money is useful. Money gives you comfort, security, choices. But money cannot give you the unlimited. Money cannot make you feel unbounded. You can have a bigger house, but you are still confined to the house. You can have more possessions, but each possession is one more thing to manage, to worry about, to protect. You thought freedom would come with more. Instead, more brings more entanglement. Notice this. The moment you get something you wanted, the mind says, and now, that, and now is the ego. It cannot rest. It cannot simply be satisfied. It immediately needs the next thing. This is how the mind functions when attached to objects. The same with power. Power seems to promise bigness. If you have power, you think you will matter, you will be significant, you will transcend your smallness. But power is an illusion. Today you have power, tomorrow someone else has it. Today people fear you, tomorrow they forget you. And even while you have power, you realize you are not controlling anything. You are being controlled by the power. You have become its slave. And recognition, fame, prestige, being known, this fails to truly satisfy. Because recognition is always external. People see your achievements, your image, your persona, but they do not see you. And you know this. So even in the midst of applause, you can feel unseen, misunderstood, lonely. Many objects of desire bring this same disappointment, not because the object is defective, but because the object is an object. And no object, no matter how good, can fulfill a longing for the unlimited. Think of Alexander the Great. He conquered the world. He had everything a human being could want: power, wealth, fame, victory. And yet he died young, unfulfilled, still wanting more, still feeling incomplete. Would you rather be a dead Alexander the Great or a living beggar? Ask yourself honestly, and your being will answer, it is better to be alive and be a beggar than to be dead and be Alexander. Because life itself, simple, ordinary, breathing, being, is more valuable than all the objects you can accumulate. Let me tell you a story, not to give you philosophy, but to show you a path that has been walked. There was a man named Siddhartha. He was born a prince. He had everything: wealth, beauty, comfort, pleasure. His father made sure he never saw suffering. He lived in palaces. He was surrounded by music, dancing, flowers, luxury. But at the age of 29, something happened. He saw suffering. He saw sickness. He saw old age. He saw death. And suddenly, All the luxury felt meaningless. All the pleasure felt hollow. He realized, I have been living in a dream. And one day, I too will grow old. I too will get sick. I too will die. And all this wealth, all this power, all this pleasure, none of it will save me. So he left. In the middle of the night, he walked out of the palace. He left his wife, his child, his kingdom. He became a beggar, a seeker. This was not an easy decision. This was not romantic. This was a man seeing clearly that all worldly objects are futile, and having the courage to act on that seeing. For 6 years, he searched. He went from one teacher to another. He practiced yoga, meditation, fasting, austerities. He pushed his body to the absolute extreme. He was searching for God, for enlightenment, for truth. He had replaced the desire for worldly objects with the desire for spiritual objects. Instead of wanting a palace, he wanted heaven. Instead of wanting pleasure, he wanted liberation. But after 6 years, he was exhausted. He had tried everything, and nothing had worked. He was as empty as when he started, maybe more empty. Because now he had tested both worldly objects and spiritual objects, and both had failed. One day, he was crossing a river, a small river, so small that ordinarily anyone could swim across it easily, but he was so weak. 6 years of fasting, 6 years of pushing his body to the absolute limit, 6 years of denying himself everything: food, comfort, rest. It is said that by the end, you could count his ribs through his skin. His stomach had completely disappeared. His stomach and his back had become one. He was no longer a man. He was a skeleton, wrapped in skin, a shadow of what he once was. And now, trying to cross this small river, he could not make it. His arms had no strength. His legs could not push. The current, gentle as it was too much for him. He had to grab the root of a tree that hung over the water. He clung to it, unable to move forward, unable to go back, just hanging there, exhausted, defeated, too weak even to save himself. And in that moment, hanging in the water, defeated, exhausted, having tried everything and failed, a great insight happened. He saw the pointlessness of it all. Worldly objects did not satisfy. He had tested them. He had had everything: palaces, pleasure, power, and they brought comfort, yes, but no fulfillment. That is why he left. Spiritual objects did not satisfy either. He had tested them. He had practiced every method, followed every teacher, pushed himself to the limit. They brought discipline, yes, but no freedom, no liberation, no peace, just more seeking, more striving, more waiting for some future moment of enlightenment. In that moment, he let go, not just of worldly desires, not just of spiritual desires. He let go of desiring objects altogether. He did not become desireless. This is important. The scriptures say he became desireless, but they are wrong. He did not lose desire. He lost objects. Desire remained pure, unattached, objectless. He climbed out of the river. He sat under a tree, and that night he slept for the first time in years. Really slept, deeply, without dreams, because dreams are reflections of desires attached to objects. When there are no objects, there are no dreams. He woke up in the morning. The sky was turning red. The sun was rising. The last stars were disappearing, and he opened his eyes. And in that moment rested, objectless, empty of all wanting for anything in particular. He became enlightened. What does enlightenment mean? It means desire freed from objects. It means pure energy, pure aliveness, pure being, not wanting anything, but full of energy, full of love, full of life. This is the transformation, not from desire to desirelessness, but from attached desire to objectless desire, from seeking the infinite in objects to realizing that you are the infinite. So the question is not, how do I stop desiring? The question is, how do I free my desire from objects? And the answer is not a technique, it is not a practice, it is an understanding, a seeing, a clarity. You see that no object can fulfill you, not because you have tried all objects and been disappointed, but because you understand the nature of objects. They are limited, they are temporary, they are external. And what you are longing for is unlimited, eternal, internal. So you stop directing your desire outward. You stop looking for fulfillment in things, in people, in achievements, in experiences. Not because you have become negative, not because you have given up, but because you have understood. This understanding brings a great relaxation, a great relief. Because now you are no longer chasing, you are no longer running after the next thing. You are no longer postponing your fulfillment to some future moment when you will finally have enough. You realize enough is here, now, not because you have everything, but because you have stopped demanding that objects give you the infinite. Your desire remains, but it is pure, it is objectless, it is simply energy, aliveness, a pulsation, a vibration. This is what people call enlightenment. This is what people call liberation. This is what people call God realization. But these are just words. What actually happens is very simple. You stop trying to be more through accumulation, and you start being more through presence. Let me give you a small example. You are sipping tea in the morning. Ordinarily, while sipping the tea, you are thinking about the day ahead, what you have to do, where you have to go, what problems you have to solve, what conversation you need to have, what email you need to send, what decision you need to make. The tea is just a background activity. Your hands hold the cup, but you are not really holding it. Your lips touch the liquid, but you are not really tasting it. Your body is here, but you are already somewhere else, already in the future, already worrying, planning, rehearsing. But what if just for a moment you put aside all thoughts of the future? What if you stop planning, stop worrying, stop rehearsing, and you simply sip the tea? You feel the warmth of the cup in your hands. You notice the weight of it, the texture, the curve. You bring it to your lips slowly. You feel the steam on your face. You smell the aroma, not thinking, this is good tea, or this reminds me of something, but simply smelling, simply receiving. You taste the flavor, not judging it, not comparing it to yesterday's tea or some ideal tea you once had, just tasting the bitterness, the sweetness, the warmth spreading on your tongue. You feel the liquid moving down your throat. You feel it reaching your stomach, warming you from inside. You are here, completely, fully, with no thoughts pulling you into the future or pushing you into the past, with no agenda, no goal, no purpose except this: to be present with this cup of tea in this moment. In that moment, a strange thing happens. You feel satisfied. Not because the tea is extraordinary, not because you have finally found the perfect tea, not because anything external has changed, but because you are present, you are whole, you are here, and in that presence, that wholeness, that here-ness, satisfaction arises, not from getting something, but from being something, being present, being alive, being here. This is objectless desire. This is pure energy. This is enlightenment, not as a grand achievement, but as a simple way of being. You do not need to renounce the world. You do not need to go to a cave. You do not need to become a monk. You simply need to stop demanding that objects give you the infinite. You can have your job, you can have your relationships, you can have your possessions, but you do not cling to them. You do not expect them to complete you. You enjoy them, but you are not addicted to them. This is freedom, not freedom from objects, but freedom from the belief that objects can fulfill you. And in this freedom, a great flowering happens. Because now your energy is no longer wasted in chasing. Your energy is available for creativity, for love, for celebration, for life. You are no longer living in the future, always postponing, always waiting. You are living now, and now is all there is. Now is eternity entering into time. Now is the infinite touching the finite. So what do you do? How do you move from attached desire to objectless desire? You cannot do anything. This is not a doing. This is a seeing, a recognition, a clarity. You simply watch your desires, not with judgment, not with condemnation, not trying to change them or fix them or make them go away. Simply watching, like you would watch clouds in the sky, or waves on the ocean, or birds flying past. You watch how you keep looking for fulfillment in objects, how your mind keeps saying, if I just had this, then I would be happy. how every achievement creates a brief satisfaction, then immediately creates a new wanting, how nothing ever seems to be enough, how there is always something missing, always something more needed. You watch how every satisfaction turns into dissatisfaction, how the car you desperately wanted becomes just a car after a few months, how the promotion you worked so hard for becomes just another job, how the relationship that seemed perfect begins to show cracks, how the excitement fades, how the newness wears off, how you start looking for the next thing. You watch how nothing ever really fills you, not because the things are wrong, not because you chose poorly, but because you are asking them to do something they cannot do. You are asking objects to satisfy a longing that is beyond objects. And in this watching, a distance arises. You are no longer identified with your desires. You are no longer saying, I want this, as if you are the wanting. You are watching the wanting, like clouds passing in the sky. The sky does not cling to the clouds. The sky does not say, I need this cloud to be complete. I need this particular formation to be whole. The sky simply is. And clouds come and go. Some are beautiful, some are dark. Some bring rain, some bring thunder. But the sky remains undisturbed, spacious, free. You are like the sky, and desires are like clouds. Let them come, let them go. Do not cling, do not reject, do not fight, do not suppress. Simply watch. And slowly, you will notice something. The desires start losing their grip. Not because you are fighting them, not because you are suppressing them, but because you are seeing through them. You see that what you really want is not the object. What you really want is the expansion, the freedom, the aliveness that you think the object will give you. But that expansion is already here. That freedom is already here. That aliveness is already here. It was never in the object. It was always in you. This is the great joke, the great cosmic joke. You have been searching outside for what was always inside. You have been chasing the infinite in objects when you yourself are the infinite. And the moment you see this, really see this, not just intellectually, but existentially, everything changes. Not because you have renounced anything, but because you have come home. You are still in the world, but you are not of the world. You use objects, but you are not used by them. You have desires, but you are not enslaved by them. You live, but you are not lost. This is the art. This is the transformation. This is what Atisha calls the point of mind training. Not to destroy the mind, not to destroy desire, but to see through the illusion that objects can satisfy the infinite longing within you. And when you see through this illusion, you are free. Not free from life, but free in life. Free to live fully, free to love deeply, free to be completely present. This is all that is needed. This is all that has ever been needed. Not more achievements, not more possessions, not more experiences. Simply this, to see that nothing ever satisfies you because you are seeking the unlimited in limited things. And to stop, to rest, to be. In that stopping, in that resting, in that being, satisfaction comes. Not from getting something, but from realizing that you already are what you have been seeking. You are the infinite. You have always been the infinite. You will always be the infinite. Objects come and go. Desires rise and fall. But you remain eternal, unbounded, free. This is not a teaching to believe. This is not a philosophy to adopt. This is an invitation to look, to see, to recognize what is already true. Nothing ever satisfies you, not because life is empty, but because you are infinite, and no object can match that infinity. Stop looking for it in objects. Start recognizing it in yourself, and everything changes. Not because anything has changed, but because you have stopped chasing, you have stopped missing, you have stopped waiting, you have arrived right here, right now, in this moment. And this moment is enough. This moment is everything. This moment is the infinite touching you. Not in some distant future, not in some faraway place, but here, now, in the simple act of being. This is all. This is the whole teaching. Stop chasing satisfaction in objects. Start recognizing that you yourself are the satisfaction you have been seeking. And then just live, simply, ordinarily, without grand expectations, without constant wanting, without the exhausting search for the next thing that will finally make you complete. You are already complete. You have always been complete. The search was the only thing preventing you from seeing it. Stop searching and see